Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to a very tired Toshio. It's Saturday, and you're watching QWERTY's with some low-tier shenanigans. He's gonna show us how to stay determined. Undertale intensifies. And have fun in low tier. This is a man who, if you're not familiar with QWERTY's, have you been watching my replays? But he likes to do that grind in top tier and then come down to low tier for some rest and relaxation. And I've got to say, I could use some R&R right now. I had a great day today. A lot of things came together really well. I also am in the middle of making some pretty difficult decisions for myself, but that's personal life stuff, and it's not really a bad thing at all. It's just like picking between two different things. Do you ever get to a point in your life, as I completely ignore QWERTY's fantastic replay, by the way, you watched the video, but do you ever get to that point in your life where you feel like you're in between two things, and they're both good, and you have to move forward and leave the past behind? Just kind of... I hate being between two things. Let's put it that way. I would love to just live my life with one continuous project that took all of my passion and intensity and made me just tired at the end of every day, and I could just come home and flop on the bed and fall asleep. But you know, things in life, they're not really that simple, are they? And there's always the changing seasons of life, and one day you're a rice farmer and the next you're a talking tree. That's right, you get recruited by the Lorax. Anyway, here we see QWERTY's. By the way, I'm not joining a rebel front yet, but I might be changing up some of the volunteer stuff that I do. So that's what I've been talking about. Anyway, now QWERTY's has respawned, a nice feature for video games that you don't have to stop playing the first time you die. That's right, even in World of Tanks you can ride out in another tank. There's no need to spend time in a POW camp or a hospital. So enjoy where fun overcomes realism. In any event, QWERTY's now having respawned in his second vehicle using that, I would call it indirect fire, but the soft cover method of shooting. If you can shoot through some soft cover where the enemy doesn't have eyes on you to begin with, that's such an advantage. And you see that time and time again as QWERTY's uses his knowledge of the enemy position and the third person view to get a shot on enemies just after they duck into some soft cover, which should be to their advantage, but ends up concealing QWERTY's firing position. So take note, kids, this is the way to play well in low tier. And you know, I've seen QWERTY's on the server, and he is a little bit of a munchkin. But he's also here to teach all of you how to do well in what are probably the most fun and reasonably balanced vehicles in War Thunder. And I notice I didn't say well balanced. They're reasonable. They're not outrageous. And how do I put this? It seems like sometimes War Thunder is a black hole, and nothing really escapes it. Once you start playing the game, you get sucked in, and you kind of lose your perspective on other games. I know it's taken up a lot of my time and a lot more of my money than it should. And I've also noticed that a lot of people, they get very concerned about certain aspects of War Thunder, and there are definitely some times where you maybe should be concerned, but a lot of times it could be due to a lack of perspective. And I'm not trying to correct any kind of behavior here. This is just my observation. But doesn't it seem like sometimes we expect this game to be more balanced than other games we've played? I remember when I got to a point playing World of Tanks, which is the tank game I played before this one, where I really felt like I needed to buy a premium vehicle that had, what was it called? Favorable matchmaking or something like that, where I would pay for a vehicle that doesn't get up-tiered as highly as other vehicles at its tier does. Could you imagine if that was a thing in War Thunder? Oh, the outcry, favorable matchmaking. And yet, here, QWERTY's just absolutely going for the lulz as he takes out one of the few land ship tea delivery systems that you'll find in the game. What's the name of this thing? I can't remember right now. But the British land battleship, everyone. Vickers Mark something? Anyway, Vickers Mark II, I think. Anyway, it is not the Vickers you were looking for. Where's the meme for that? These aren't the Vickers you're looking for. And anyway, I may have just lost my train of thought. I decided to queue up 2 replays for you all. I missed you guys, honestly. I have been so busy with what is essentially volunteer work, and I feel like, well, I just missed you guys. Is that okay? I want to talk to you more. I really want to hang out with you guys more and play more with you all. I really cherish those times where I was able to squad up with you guys from the Discord server, or just people that I met in the game of War Thunder. I never used to play multiplayer games in a team with other people before War Thunder, and I have enjoyed every single time I've ever squatted up with any of you guys. I really love that some of you that I met, it seems like ages ago, but maybe a year ago, you're still around. And I really feel like I've found friends in this game, and I've found friends from having this YouTube channel, which is one of my goals. And all that is to say that I really do, when I say I miss you guys, I miss you guys. So whenever I get really busy, which is something that's happening more and more frequently now, well, this is sort of a new feeling for me. I used to be a guy who had all kinds of free time, and, you know, I just kind of avoided people. Now it's sort of the opposite. I love people. I really look forward to hanging out with my friends, both on and offline. By the way, you can be one of the few people that watch my game night videos. I really enjoy making those. Those are going to come out about every 1 or 2 weeks. I'll have a series of game night videos. Right now we're playing arcade games, and I had my brother over. He's the loud one. That's Jeff. And my name is Casey, by the way. Toshio's just my channel name. It's sort of like a net handle, you see. This ended up being a hangout episode, didn't it? I told you guys I missed you. I really did. And all that is to say, I really enjoy hanging out with my real-life friends as well, both old and new. And my new friends, my youngest friends, my 2 girls, they take up a lot of my time. And it's like, it's way too early to tell you guys, but there's a wiggly chicken nugget who is going to be my 3rd child. So my wife is pregnant, It was not planned, but I am absolutely ecstatic. I love people, and I think that my girls are the coolest people in the world. All three of them, and gender has not been revealed. It's far too early for little Nuggy to be displaying the bits that we go, oh, okay, I see. That's, puppy dog or kitty cat, we can't tell. But, and like I said, it's way too early to tell you guys, so don't even ask about it, but I'm just so happy. I think it's gonna work out great. But it's one of those things that, well, a lot of people will hold off because things can happen, and it's really, really tragic. But I'm excited. So that's another thing that's going on. I told you I'm a busy man, and I'm only going to get even more busy, but I really want to make it obvious as I've completely abandoned talking about what Qwerty's is doing. Do you see? Yes, he is in the whirlaway. He is the one of the 7 people this month that's going to play the whirlaway. and I am just very happy to be making this video right now. I am extremely tired. I just did a big activity with a few people from my church. The pastor and his daughter, who's a really cool kid. She's been in my class for a long time, and I've been around from when she was practically a baby, and she's grown up into a fine young woman, and a great sense of humor. She's kind of sassy, which reminds me of my own girls. Oh my gosh, my older daughter is so sassy, but especially bossy too. She just knows what's best, and it's hard to convince a 2-year-old that they don't actually know what's best. In any event, it's probably not best to be flying the whirlaway right now, but you know what? I get the impression as an elevator flies off for unknown reasons there. Did he get shot down, or was that a bombs thing? Well, the replay's not going to help me out, is it? Maybe now's a good time to bring out that I sort of live my life with a sense of destiny. It's late. I have not even begun to drink my bedtime wine, which is not enough to make me say anything silly or to lose track of what's going on. Did we? I'm not drunk, but it's the replay system. Anyway, let's get into the next replay. This is Flare in IS-6 in Civil War. He's going to be facing USSR versus USSR. And for those of you that don't know, I might have lost my train of thought, but it was something along the lines of something sentimental. But I'm very tired, I'm a little bit silly, and this is like the perfect time for me to have my friends over and play some arcade games that I just got running well on my computer. MAME for the win. And yet, here I am with you guys. It's nice to have you. The great thing about being YouTube friends is you get to come hang out in my living room anytime you feel like bringing up the channel, and you're welcome. In any event, Flare is going to be doing some fun shenanigans in IS-6. It is still a fantastic Soviet heavy tank at 7.3 battle rating. Look at the mobility of this vehicle. Side armor for days. Reasonably strong sloping and thickness in a battle rating where, below 7.0 sloping and thickness matter quite a bit. At 7.7 and above, not so much. So it really puts the IS-6 in an interesting position. You're very able, with its decent gun handling and fantastic mobility for a heavy tank, to put it into some situations that you wouldn't expect a heavy tank to be. It sort of has more armor than a medium with the same mobility, and more mobility than almost every other heavy, at a battle rating just low enough where you can sometimes completely bully people. Mostly, I'm assuming that tree wasn't in front of Flare's optic outside the replay in the live gameplay, and that is a feature of the replay system. Sometimes trees will fall at a different angle than they did in the live gameplay, so that is something to keep in mind. I am convinced that Flare does not use any kind of weird sneaky breaky coding to get the results that he gets. They'd be better. Anyway, not a bad start as he opens up with that good Dushka on the Super Hellcat. Another very fun and rewarding premium, though not quite the mixed bag that you get with IS-6. It's basically just an upgunned M18. I say just. The only thing that you want on an M18 is a bigger gun, and that's what the premium variant gives you at a commensurately higher battle rating. Anyway, Soviet 122mm cannon straight through the flattest portion of the turret of the IS-6, which some time ago got adjusted to reasonable levels. I remember the day where the IS-6 had a hidden 100mm rolled homogeneous armor plate that apparently never existed in reality behind the main armor plate of the turret. Gee, gee, it's almost like shenanigans. And yet, the great thing about IS-6 that still exists in the game is, one, plenty of room for decals. You get your crew GTW anime girl up on the turret where she belongs. And also, if you do manage to punch through someone's armor with that derpy 122mm cannon, you will most likely introduce every member of their crew to weaponized potato fragments to the tune of a one-shot kill in almost every scenario, and that is just extremely satisfying in any vehicle. Add to that the nice mobility and, again, solid armor features of IS-6, and even with the competition that it faces, it can be a fun and rewarding tank. It's no longer the absolute bully that it used to be when it had a nigh impenetrable turret, especially after British Hesh got nerfed just enough to keep it from constantly one-shotting IS-6. Funny how that works. But in any event, it looks like, or rather sounds like, there's a bit of desync here with the replay, and that does happen, so I apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, the War Thunder replay system, and also, ladies and gentlemen, the Soviet Civil War. As Flare one-shots, as you do, a T-34-85 execution style from the rear, and I just realized on that flag we have a Dita. A wild Dita appears, decal applied. In any event, it has been a long day. I'm looking forward to relaxing a little bit, but not tomorrow. And, well, I suppose I'll have more news for you all on another day. In any event, it's always fun to see my, well, I'm gonna call you my friends, having a good time in the game of War Thunder. I've been playing a few vehicles, but I've found it most relaxing to play the Voiture 2A, I think it's called, the Israeli modification. It is a lot of fun with its high speed capability, its bomber spawn, and its guided missiles in a lineup where it definitely can face some pretty tough competition. But the ultimate playstyle of the Vautour kind of speaks to the ultimate playstyle of IS-6. It's one of those vehicles that gets that nice premium bonus, and if you put yourself in a position to hit the enemy at your advantage and their disadvantage, as we see here, a derp, then you have the speed and the firepower to chase enemies down and take them down with extreme prejudice, and yet screw things up and you're just a little bit too cumbersome. In the case of the Vautour, quite a bit too cumbersome to get yourself out of a bad situation by maneuvering. In case of IS-6, that's right, your gun is a huge target with its large muzzle brake, and that's exactly what happened here. This is the point where you bend over and kiss your IS goodbye. And yet, every now and then, a teammate comes through for you. It's always nice to get a little help from your friends. And that just about does it for this match and for this couple of replays. I didn't do as much talking about what's going on, and I apologize if you were hoping for more, but we had some nice scenic cinematics to back up my talk about how I'm a sentimental old man at the age of 30, what am I, 33? 32? How old am I? Anyway, maybe if I keep forgetting how old I am, I can also be forgiven for forgetting the ages of my kids. In any event, it was nice catching up with you guys. It's nice that with our busy lives, we're still able to meet in my War Thunder or in my YouTube videos. One day my channel will probably get deleted by some random copyright claims or something fun like that, but until that day, we do have YouTube together. Catch you guys in the next video. And of course, feel free to send in those replays and check out the AmFam Squadron in War Thunder. We have room for you. Bye-bye.